It's unfortunate that several generations of Americans don't recall seeing real wood-bodied cars on the highways and byways of our great country. Even wood decaled cars haven't been available now for several decades. But you'd be amazed how many people of all ages immediately notice this beautiful woodie that belongs to Jerry Witt. This car has been tastefully modified for safety and reliability, so that the Witts can drive anywhere without fear of breaking down while being comfortable and safe the entire trip. However, this Mercury still retains all the original visual cues that make it a classic. A perfect combination of style and function. Now, let's go for a ride.
Aloha, hey, my name is Jerry Witt. This is my 1946 Mercury woodie station wagon. Kind of a little fast story, maybe a little bit longer, but in 1998, I was looking for a woodie. It has always been my dream car, and I came across a contact from a couple friends of mine that there was a place called Greenwood Woodies who wholesaled woodie station wagons, and I contacted the person, and he sent me some pictures and told me that this is a 46 Ford. And I says, perfect, because that's exactly what I was looking for, was a Ford at the time. He says, all it needs to do is the motor's been redone, whole car's done except for the wood needs to be varnished. And I said, well, that's something I can do. I contacted him back again and says, I'm very interested in it. I'll give you a deposit. And so I sent him a deposit, and a week went by, 2 weeks went by, a month went by. I never heard from him again. The friend of mine that turned me on to him got a hold of this person, and he said, I haven't got the car yet. And so that was a kind of a little flag. He didn't have the car. So they put the pressure on him. So the car finally came, and I told all my neighbors that I'm getting this car because I was so excited because this is my dream car. And so it came in a transport truck. It backed the transport truck into the neighborhood, and he fired the car up, and the whole neighborhood filled up with blue smoke. And I'm going, oh no. So anyway, so I got a hold of the gentleman that turned me onto it, and so they got a hold of this person and said, if you don't give this guy his money back, you'll never sell another car. So this person got a hold of me and says, well, I heard you had a problem. I says, yes, you just misrepresented the car. The moldings weren't there. There was nothing there. And then I would probably never be able to finish this car. He goes, okay, well, I'll send your money back, and I'll send a transport truck to pick it up. I says, okay. And about a week later, no transport truck. 2 weeks later, no transport truck, no check, no money back. And so, again, the friends put the squeeze on this guy, and so it took over a month to get my money back, and the car left. That was on a Tuesday. On a Friday afternoon, I got a phone call from this guy and says, is this Jerry Witt? And I go, yes, this is Richard Mahudi. He says, I hear you're looking for a woodie. And I go, yeah, I sure am. And he goes, well, I have a 46 Mercury woodie. And I said, well, I'm not really looking for a Mercury. I'm looking for a Ford. He goes, well, let me send you some pictures. So I says, okay. So I had shift the next day. I was working on the fire department that day. And so Tuesday came, and I happened to be working right down the street from the station, worked right down the street from my house. So we went and picked up the mail, and there was this envelope. And inside this envelope was the pictures of this Mercury. Well, what Richard had done, he had taken the car down to the beach and threw some boards in it and the whole 9 yards. and I go, wow, this is really nice. He goes, well, would you like to come and see it? And I says, yeah. And he says, well, I have the car in my shop. It's in Huntington Beach. So I says, okay, that's cool. He says, when would you like to come? I says, well, how about Saturday? And he said, yeah, okay, I'll fly into Long Beach and I'll pick you up. I got a hold of one of my friends. His name was Craig. I says, hey, Craig, would you want to go to the coast with me and look at a car? He goes, yeah, I'd love to. I says, okay, cool. I'll pay the airfare and we'll get in. Richard said he'll pick us up at the airport. So we got to the airport and I gave Craig $500. So I says, when it comes time, if this car you think is worth it, when it comes time to bargaining, just tell me how much money you have. If it's worth what he's asking, say you have $500. If not, just say, well, I got $150, and we'll start really bargaining on this deal. So Richard picked us up. It's so cool because I can remember Richard walking through the door, myself in the middle, and Craig behind us. And he walked through the door, and he got into the shop, and he had the car was sitting there, and he's got a big roll-up door, and his car's sitting facing the door. My eyes are all lit up, and he goes, you know what, let's go for a ride. So he rolls up, he had the big chain door, rolls up the door, and it's raining out. And he goes, well, let's go for a ride. He fired it up, and I couldn't even hear the car running. You know, I had him open the hood, and it was running. It was like smooth as a kitten. So he says, let's get in. So Craig got in, I got in, I sit shotgun, and Richard's driving. And so we take it out and head out. The first place he goes is on the freeway. And we're going down the 405, and whoo, windshield wipers are working, the radio's working, everything's working in the car. I go, wow, this is awesome. I remember Richard sitting at his workbench, and I was sitting in the car at the time, and I had the door open, and I says, well, at the time he was asking $24,000 for it. And back in the day, that was like really a smoking deal. And I go, well, I don't know. And he goes, well, I have another motor. I said, oh, you have another motor? And he showed us over the machine shop, had it all wrapped up, brand spanking new motor, because he's a machinist. And it was a 49 Merc motor, which is more horsepower. And he goes, I'll throw that in also. And he goes, oh, yeah, by the way, and he brought me over to the part of the shop. And then to this day, up in the drawers there, I have grills, I have tons of parts that he gave me. And I go, well, yeah, I'm not sure about the price. And you have to remember what I told Craig. And I said, well, I said, hey, Craig, how much money do you have on you? And he goes, I have $500. And I go, oh, okay. He says, and then Richard says, and you know what? I'll bring it to Phoenix for you. I have a friend that has a race car trailer, and we'll bring it to Phoenix for you. I says, you'll bring it for the same price? And he goes, yeah, we'll just bring it to you. And I said, okay. So that was on a Saturday. So he showed up on a Thursday. Well, when he came in, it rolled out the car. It was all original. I mean, it was beautiful, just fantastic car. Then all the neighbors came out and they saw that I had this whole glow on my face because this is my car, you know. And again, it was all original at the time. It had the flathead motor in it, the 239 V8. It had a 3-speed transmission, but it had a Columbia 2-speed rear end in it, which was totally awesome. And it's all original wood. My friend Craig was at the house, so he goes, he goes, are you happy with this car? And I go, Craig, you can't believe how happy I am. Then he told me, if you didn't buy this car, I was going to buy this car. So, and Craig at the time there was a National Woodie Club, was the vice president of the National Woodie Club. And so he turned me onto the joining the club, and I have some magazines of joining the club. When I joined the club, the happiness within my family, from the Woody from Hell to this car, was just unbelievable. So when we took it out every day we went riding in this car. So at the time, when my wife was with us, she has passed away now, but she said, hey, you know what, if we're going to drive this car, we don't want to just be able to go here, we want to be able to travel in it. And I go, perfect. I got a hold of Ken Wyman, who at that time had a shop, and then he was building race cars. So I asked Ken if this is something he would want to do, and he says, yeah, I'd love to do it. So we put a 350 Chevy in it. We put a Walker radiator in it. It has a 700R automatic transmission, a 9-inch rear end with 355 gears, so I get good gas mileage. And then it has a Mustang 2 front suspension underneath it, with Thunderbird rack and pinion and Thunderbird springs. And then if changing the rear end, we had to change it to leaf springs instead of the arch springs. So we got it all done. And then, so one of the first journeys that we were going to take once we got it done was we were going to go to Doheny Wood. Craig and I were going to go to Doheny Wood together. And so we got to Doheny Wood, and that was the first show that I got to take it to. In fact, I have a picture of it there at Doheny Wood. And then, so when we came back, we decided that we were going to take it and we were going to do some traveling in the car. So at the time, Vic and I, we jumped in the car, we took off. and went to a concert when we were back, and we took the car, and we were asked if we wanted to spend the day with the Beach Boys. So we said, yeah, we'd love to spend a day with the Beach Boys. So Craig, whose other car is in that other picture there, he had his Model A, and then we had the 46, so we got to spend a whole day with the Beach Boys. It was fun. I mean, they hung out with us, and we were like right next to the stage when they were singing in the whole 9 yards. And so I had the Beach Boys sign my visor, and then Dick Dale came to town, and Dick Dale saw that we had our cars there, and he got all excited and said, hey, I'd love to do something special for you guys. And we asked, well, could you sign the visor in my car? And he signed the visor in my car, which is, he's passed away now, so it's even a bigger thing for me. And then Bethany Hamilton came into town, the surfer, if you remember her. She signed my car, spent the day with her, which was totally just such a great experience. She was such a great lady. And so we take the car and we go everywhere in it. It's our happy car. It makes old people think of, we used to have one of these when we were kids, and then the young people think of the beach. And one of the fun things about going to the Woody shows is that it's really not about all the chrome and the horsepower. It's just about the cars, but we get to hang out with our friends, and everybody else gets to enjoy the cars. It's Monsoon Maroon. Jazzy Body Shop painted it for me, and its paint job's 16 years old now. This is a very special car.
Thanks, Jerry, for spending some time with us recently so we could bring the world your stunning 1946 Mercury Woody station wagon. We really enjoyed meeting you and seeing all your automotive memorabilia and just talking cars. Now we'll have to add a Woody to the list of cars we'd like to have someday. Please leave a comment on what you think of this wonderful Woody. Next week, we're bringing you a gorgeous 1963 Cadillac Eldorado that is sure to get enthusiasts of large 60s convertibles excited. And why not? When we photographed this car, along with the 2 others Lou has, it was hard to keep people away. When you see it next Friday, you'll see why. Until then, thanks for watching.